Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is part 2 of a 2-part recap. If you're wondering where part 1 was, well, go check in the feed and be sure to subscribe so that way you always get your episodes. But enough of that. Let's get right back into the episode. So now we go over to Kelly, and she's with her publicist Lamont, and they're visiting a construction site, but a reno for a future outpost of Nana's Chicken and Waffles. So they're like, it's one of these scenes of like, oh my God, there's still so much left to do. And like, are we going to open in time for July 15th? I don't know. And she tells us that she started Nana's Chicken and Waffles in 2016. She did not have a culinary background, but she learned to cook from her mother and her grandmother. And then, but she's really excited about this because she says this is going to be like this building that they're working on right now. This is going to be the franchise model. Like all the future waffle places are going to be just like this one, which unfortunately is not going to open in time.
Yeah, and then she has her project manager who's like, let me tell you this. You pay me to be honest with you, and I'm being honest with you. We're not ready. And she's like, why? What do we need? What do we need? She's very big, you know. She's not used to being on TV yet, so she's very much like, this is my Waffle House, and it's going to be an empire. What do you mean we can't get the permits? How can we not get permits? Todd has restaurants. Who cares? Just open them.
He's like, well, because we're in jeopardy. I mean, this guy's very dramatic. He's like, my sole job. When you brought me on, you said, Al, if we're ever in jeopardy of not opening in time, let me know. So I'm here to tell you, Kelly, we are in jeopardy. I'm like, all right, so we'll open up 5 days later. Relax.
And she's like, I don't care. No one tells the waffle maven no. Nobody. Stop waffling and get those permits.
See what I did there? I don't, because I'm blinded by jeopardy.
I'm going to have my waffles and I'm going to eat them too. And nobody in this town is going to take me down. You want to know how I keep all this syrup in me? Because I'm a waffle. I'm a waffle. I've got multiple walls up, multiple little spools with a
if you prick me,
hide.
If you prick me, do I not bleed a little bit of syrup out of one of my little waffle wells? I was like, come again? Sorry, I was just trying to go somewhere with it.
Yeah. So then she tells us a story about how she opened her first waffle place in a different town after she met Mike. Oh, no. Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she had two waffle places. The first one, her ex, I think, like, stole from her and like shut it down or something crazy. Like he took like a lot of money from her and shut down her restaurants. Now there's only one left. I think that's what the story was.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so
the
then,
sordid tale of the waffles. It actually is a fucked up story. I'm giggling, but I'm giggling just because like anytime we talk about waffles, I just can't have a straight face. I cannot have a straight face being like, well, the first time I opened up a waffle restaurant, it was a great restaurant, but my ex stole my waffle restaurant.
At first, the business started to fall off, and I said, listen, we're not going to fall off. Wait a minute. Falafel waffle. It failed, but I tried.
And then I came up with an amazing idea. What if I took my waffle irons and made omelets in them? I invented the womlet, as made famous by Sheree Whitfield. But then my husband took that too. Remember when Sheree Whitfield got the womlet?
We love that place.
She got Sheree Whitfield ordering a womlet. That still is one of my favorite things. I'll have the womlet.
The womlet? You got womlets? I got womlets. So then we go over to not meet Brett, but we see Brett and her husband who hates her and
this
everything.
guy.
This fucking guy. This guy literally hates everything.
He needs to work on his basement staircase walking. Did you notice this? He came barreling out of that basement. I was like, sir, dude, it was like he had this speed like he didn't realize he was at the top of the staircase yet. He was like going, like you go up a staircase like bum, 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 bum. But then as you get to the top, you slow down your gait and then you do that first step out where you're like, but he was like, he like overshot the doorway. Did you see the way he came rushing out of that basement? Was this just me?
I don't know, but every husband on this show is going to be trained on how to get out of basements soon because this is a banner year for basements on the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Huge. Ralph was like taking notes. He's watching. He's like, oh, so that's how you get out.
Sheree's at home like, finally, we're having a basement season and I'm not on it. Great. We've also got a waffle lady when I ate a omelet. Damn it. My timing is just never right.
Work. They're stealing my content.
They built this show on my back.
So Britt's like,
So, are we going to watch that new movie I was telling you that I wanted to see on Netflix?
he's like, yes.
And you're not going to be on your phone?
He's like, I can't make any promises. I can't make any promises before we watch whatever god awful movie you want me to watch on Netflix, because I'm pretty sure there's no good movie on Netflix anymore.
Yeah, and she's like,
This is the consideration card that I'm talking about. I need some more consideration.
he's like, oh God, here we go with consideration. So she tells us her romantic story. They got married during COVID because honestly, we all thought the world was going to end. And you just looked at the person who was right next to you and you were like, we're going to make this work because we're going to die together. And someone has to teach me how to make bread because everybody's doing it. And she met him when she launched her insurance agency, and Mike was her client, but she didn't want to date her client. So they just became friends. Who gets rid of a client for a man? If you just started your own insurance agency, you take the money before the man. That's what I say.
That's called insurance. Like, how would you not even know that? You're an insurance agent. So, they went from being client and insurer to lover and lovey. And listen, you can't put a premium on love. That's what I say. So then they FaceTime for 3 months. Could you imagine FaceTiming with your insurance agent for 3 months?
That's kind of weird.
That's pretty intense.
Are you sure you don't want to add collision?
Please tell me again about the term life insurance. Do you cover travel insurance?
Oh. So I was trying to think of the person who does the percentages. An actuary.
The actuary.
Like, you want to have a threesome? Because I know a good actuary.
Who are those? Is it the actuary? And who's the other person who does? Who are the really, really dry people that like don't have any sense of humor in their job?
The adjusters.
The adjusters. They're very serious, right? Like, and I'm not just being like shady. Like, we're told, oh, the adjusters, they don't like, you can't, you're like not allowed to joke with them if you ever on the phone with them. They like, no, we don't. They're like, they're like obliged not to joke.
With an adjuster.
Now, I could be completely wrong about this. I could be just spreading misinformation, but this is what I seem to remember.
We were on a jet, and then all Simon did really was just make a joke about an adjuster, and then suddenly Homeland Security and the FBI were surrounding the plane.
I didn't realize the first law of adjusting is that you can't joke about adjusting. It was my fault.
By the way, I'm sorry, everyone. I have to apologize because I have no idea what to do with my Porsche accent. It's been years. I don't know. Am I doing the high pitched voice? Am I doing the low pitched voice? I don't know what's going on. And I apologize to listeners because everyone's probably like, what the fuck has Ben doing on this podcast right now?
Me too. It takes us
sometimes I'm like,
I'm Portia.
And then sometimes I'm like, I'm Portia.
Because Portia's gone through a metamorphosis, she's been on for a long time. And when we see clips when we see clips of her fighting with Kenya, she is very much like, oh yeah, she did talk like that. But now she talks a little bit lower. And she also makes a lot of Nene faces. Have you noticed that? She does like a lot of Nene expressions.
Yeah. She's an icon, and we want to do her right. And I don't know. It's gonna be a work in progress for me. I'm like Jax.
It's a new era of Portia. Let us adjust, will you?
Whoa, Ronnie, be serious.
So anyway, she was dating her insurance agent, and then they went to Vegas.
And I said, now, Mike, in Vegas, there's not going to be any hanky-panky.
Oh, okay. Okay, Brett. And
settle down, Honora.
What every man pays for trips to Vegas for it, not having sex with their insurance lady. Come on.
Yeah.
The man who bought you a diamond necklace on your... Oh, no, that was Dennis who bought her a diamond necklace on their first date. Never mind. I take it back.
Dog.
When I tell you we had the best time, I was like, okay, he might be the one.
So their love story was hatched. And then they had a baby. And, I'm sorry. She wants to have a baby. She wants to have a baby.
They didn't have a baby. That was a dog.
The baby they had was as a policy. My babying policy.
They had baby Mimosa, a little poodle thing. who's very cute, by the way.
They had like a little baby auto insurance policy that they took out for like the tire.
So they're talking about her remodel, and she's like,
Well, I know you don't want to have another extra room, but if we don't, then that means Mom is going to be in the room next to me. Now, I'm willing to make some adjustments to the budget because I'll take out all the high-end stuff from our place, but we need a room for Mom.
and she's basically doing like, honey, you're going to get me the house I want, right? My dream house.
And she's got like traces of Lindsay Hubbard about her, right? Because she's like, okay, she's like,
So, okay, question. Do you want to have a baby in this house or like the next house?
and he's like, why does it have to be so like structured and planned? She's like,
Because we're adults and I'm the planner and you're like just throwing against the wall kind of guy.
and he's like, I know, but like, do we have to choose our house based on where we're going to have a baby in it? You know, like, I just want to see if things stick. And she's like, well, see if it sticks. You can't see if a baby sticks. Like you can, you think I can just be pregnant and show no emotions. I'm just curious. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to buy the house on spec for the baby.
Yeah, it's another one of those where it's like you see somebody who is trying to make somebody into something they're not, clearly. Like, you're going to be interested and you're going to buy me a dream house, right? And he's like, probably not. He's just scrolling on his phone. She's like, this is going to work. It's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. I don't see this relationship going very far. But guess what relationship I do see going far? I got a text today from an unknown number that said, what time do you get off work today? And I said, why? What do you want to do? And she said, hi, I'm Kim. Long time no see. How are you recently? I'm going to say missing you. I'm going to say missing you. So great to hear from
you should ask her. You should ask what the pronouns are because Kim could go either way.
Okay. What are your pronouns?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to ask her in the next text if she thinks that men in America should drink wine or if only in other countries. Oh my God. I might have found love, guys.
So Britt's mom sort of lumbers into the kitchen and sits down, and Britt's like,
Oh, we were just talking about you, Mom. Like, are you selling the house and then you're going to move in with a baby? Because, like, we're like going to get pregnant this year.
and she's like, and then Mike is like, allegedly. She's like, oh, finally, a grandchild. And she's like, and stop saying allegedly, by the way. You see, this is negative energy you're putting out in the universe. He goes,
Yeah, she's like, oh, you're going to have a baby. Oh, you are going to have a baby. So Mike has a son who's 15, but he wants to experience being a girl dad. So they're going to do IVF so they can choose the sex.
I feel like that's not like, okay, I don't know the IVF journey, but from everything I have heard and seen, including on this very episode in a little bit, I hear IVF, like, I get the impression that IVF is not just like this thing that you do. Like, oh, I'm just gonna just do a little IVF. I'm just gonna put on some jeans. It's like it's a process, and it's like long and hard, and it does a lot of stuff to your body. And I feel like is Britt aware of this? I mean, this is based on just everything I've heard. It just seems like not the thing you're like, oh, yeah, I'm just gonna get a little IVF, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do from there.
Yeah.
Especially since she's such a planner.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, but if you get to pick the baby, I don't know.
Well, all right. Well, I guess we'll see what happens with that. So that's the plan. So speaking of which, we now go to Shamia visiting her surrogate, Shadina. And I was like, I recognize this lady. And I then Googled and I was like, aha, this was Candy's surrogate. And then, of course, I pressed play and it's like, she was Candy's surrogate. And I was like, oh, well. I felt special there for a moment for remembering something, and then the show just blatantly told it.
Yeah, it was Shadina, and Shadina has given birth to a lot of babies. I mean, that is a lady who works. Oh my God. And you know what? Shadina has really learned, like a true housewife, how to parlay this opportunity into a bigger business. Because when Shadina started, she was just like someone in Phoenix that they found on Craigslist or something. I don't know. And now Shadina has her own surrogate agency. Shadina's like a leader in the surrogate world now. So I was like, damn, Shadina.
She's the Mauricio Umansky of surrogates. She's like
the Shadina agency.
Shadina agency. So Shadina, this is actually a very touching scene because what happened was that Shadina was diagnosed with breast cancer that was stage 4. So this is why Shiloh was born prematurely because they had to induce or whatever they did. I don't know if it was like C-section or whatever, but they had to have the baby early because Shadina needed to deal with her breast cancer. But then both of them carry a lot of guilt. And so this scene is them kind of working that out a little bit because Shamia feels guilty because I guess there are risks that, like with pregnancy, that could cause, I guess, a greater risk of breast cancer. She describes that. But then,
there's gestational breast cancer.
Yeah, and then Shadina carries guilt because, Shiloh had complications, and Shadina wonders were the complications from her cancer. Was it because she was born early? So they both feel so much guilt, and it was a very moving scene because, and it was actually very touching in the way that they were both there for each other and really supporting each other, because this is a situation that could go very, bitter and sour with different people. So it was very moving to watch these two women sort of reconcile this situation.
Yeah. And so basically, she's going to find her another surrogate because she still wants to have kids. And they're like, I love you, Shadina. And she's like, I love you.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So then we go back to Britt and her dog Mimosa, and they have now come over to Kelly's. Now, this is so funny because these are two new housewives, and they are total season 1 noobs because both of them are like, oh my God, hi. Especially the waffle lady. Like, she is completely over the top. I was cracking up. So Kelly's like, we're definitely both dog moms, so we always get our bitches together. Am I right?
Al comes bursting in. Somebody tell those bitches that we're in jeopardy. Jeopardy of not opening the waffle restaurants.
So they're talking about Kelly's like, girl, I was up at 5 a.m. this morning. I'm working on waffle contingencies. Lots of planning going into the new waffle place. And she's like, well,
tell me about it. Mike woke up early and then he went on Instagram watching shit loud and cracking jokes. I'm like, hello, do you not see a bitch trying to get her beauty rest? That insurance isn't going to sell itself, am I
right? So Kelly's like, so are we going to do a celebration? Are we having a wedding? Would you be opposed to a wedding cake that's just a giant stack of successively smaller waffles? I'm sorry, I didn't see you were drinking your Starbucks. I was like, wait, leave me hanging with my waffle wedding cake joke there, Ronnie. So Britt's like,
no, I will say ceremony because I won't say ceremony but I want a huge wedding, okay? Because I want something that's sexy. I want something that's like glamorous but like intimate.
And she tells us,
I don't want to go to a sexy wedding, okay? Go fuck yourself. Not. It's bad enough I have to come to your wedding in the first place without it being a sexy wedding. Nobody wants a sexy wedding, okay?
I don't want any theme to any wedding that I'm going to or any wedding that I may or may not have. There's just no theme. The theme is food, baby. The theme is let's eat, okay? But there's no nothing beyond that. Although I do have to say, I have to give credit to my friends Jake and Cassie, whose friends we met in Cincinnati this weekend. They had a wedding at a Ren Fair, which is pretty cool. And everyone in the wedding I would not have liked to dress up at Ren Fair for a wedding, but it is kind of cool that they were like, we're doing a Ren Fair wedding. And everyone who attended went to a Ren Fair and they dressed in Renaissance clothes. That's kind of cool.
That's pretty fun.
It's cool.
Here's my favorite kind of wedding. A quick one. Okay. Make it fast. 5 minutes. 5 minutes and feed me. The end. Okay. I don't want to watch you dance with your mom. Feed me, send me home.
FM. FM. 5 minutes and feed me. I agree.
So Brittany talks about her, having a Zoom opportunity to have her wedding because hers was during the pandemic. So they just went to the courthouse, filed paperwork, and did a Zoom. And she's like,
I didn't feel great about that, but being a wife was way more important. Now maybe I'll get a house that I want without marble or wallpaper or carpet. What were we talking
travertine. There will be no travertine. At least that's what Mike says, because I think he actually named our baby Travertine. Sort of a nice name if you think about it.
I said, are you paying the IVF doctor? He said, yes.
The travertine doctor? Yes.
So
I'm gonna get pimples all over my nose from doing that. I need to stop.
No, I was like, I really enjoy this impersonation, but it's really annoying to keep having to touch my nose. I'm like, so we see a flashback of Shamia's birthday party and Portia showing up late because they make a joke about like don't show up late to the to the wedding, and we see a flashback of how Portia did that and it was like tacky. So Britt is like,
Yeah, that whole situation where she was like going in on Drew, by the way.
and Kelly's like, it shocked the waffle out of me. I was like, what is happening here? I thought we were like gonna finish our conversation.
I mean, 1 minute I was a waffle, the next minute I was a pancake. I was just flattened by that whole thing. Am I right, girl? And Britt tries to make this Kenya thing happen where she's like,
Oh, and yeah, and then remember when Kenya was like, so where's your wedding band?
why is it so crazy to ask someone who's bragging about being married where their wedding band is? I don't understand why this is crazy or why you're mad at Kenya. Yes, sure, Kenya can be shady, blah, blah, blah. But you're barking up the wrong tree if you think you're going to win against Kenya. Now,
Yeah,
technically, you did because Kenya got kicked off the show. But Kenya only lost that one because she just went too far. You know, she got herself kicked off, not you. Okay, so no victory laps for you, ma'am.
And and nothing's to say that Kenya won't come back. I don't know if this is necessarily going to be a permanent firing. You know, I think she may be in penalty box, but who knows? So Kelly is like, I mean, I'm sorry. Excuse me. #waffle. First of all, have you even seen my friend's ring, Kenya? And Brittany's like,
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm like, how about like you worry about your divorce? Like, why are you worried about if I got a wedding band or not? She says, girls, they see me and they're like, oh, she's pretty. She's like, she looks like a mean girl. But when you actually get to know me, I'm like the sweetest person you've ever met. The sweetest, hottest insurance lady in all of Atlanta.
This is our favorite character, the one who's like, you know what? Girls are mean to me because they're jealous. No, they're not.
Yeah.
Okay. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. And also this whole bragging about like, oh, wow, well, she's divorced. Why don't you worry about that instead of worrying about me who's married? You know, actually, she's got the better deal. She's already dealt with the shitty man and gotten rid of him. Okay. You're still in the shitty man chapter. Okay. Don't act like you have some prize. Your man looks fucking miserable. Okay. And he won't get you the finishes you want in your house. And he won't get a room for your mom. And he won't even watch a movie with you without scrolling on your phone. I don't know what the fuck you think you're bragging about, Zoom wedding. But calm down.
So she says,
Speaking of divorces, as your friend, like, I wanted to give you time to kind of share whatever you wanted to share and not be like, girl, what's the tea? So this is my way of saying, like, if you want to have a scene right now talking about your marriage, then now would be, thank you so much for that platform that you're giving me, Britt. Yeah, there was cheating and he almost took $500,000 of your money.
Yes. It was out of the company's money. It was all in the shape of little waffles. But, you know, we shall rebuild.
So, yeah, he ripped off the company account. He emptied it. And so then she went to Tulum for her birthday trip. An accountant called her and said, what's your bank account? So now she's suing him to get it back. And then it got so nasty that it got physical and the police were always being called. And it just was a total shit show, basically. And so the girls are dealing okay with it. And they've got each other's back. And they're like, I love you. 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 Can't wait till you hate each other in 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's time to go to the gym because Drew, Angela, and Shamia are all going to go to All Around Fitness. I guess that Drop It with Drew was not open that day. So
I also like a non-committal fitness place. It's just like All Around Fitness, whatever you want to do. You want to do a treadmill, do the treadmill. You want to do a pull-up, go ahead. There's a bar over there. You want to run in place? What the fuck do I care? It's all around. Just do whatever you want.
Hey, did you work out today? Yeah. What'd you do? I don't know, just like All Around Fitness.
So Drew's like, Angela and I have been friends for 3 years. We're Chi-Town girls, right? For sure, we're always going to be bonded. She's never going to turn against me. She's not going to hate me in about 3 episodes. It's going to be great.
And Shamia, Portia, and I have been in a group chat for years, so I'm hoping that after the other night at Shamia's party, we can just work out and get our endorphins going, because the other night, he was very, very negative about a true angel, I would have to say. So Angela comes in and is like asking how Drew is, and she's like, I'm not gonna lie. Saturday at Shamia's party, it kind of felt like It took me some steps back. From
So
what?
Angela has already come in here deciding, fuck this, I'm not going to pretend to be Drew's friend because, and this happened, this has happened with Drew before where people come on as her friend and didn't it happen with Tanya? Tanya or Sonia? No, it happened with Sonia.
Sonia.
Remember
This
Sonia?
is the classic
Yeah, it was
thing.
Sonia.
You come in as this is a classic housewife thing. You come in as someone's friend, you fight some perfunctory battles to prove that you're a friend, and then you get to have a scene where you say, all this time I was sticking up for this person and like just blindly without realizing that no one likes them and I should be hanging out with the popular girls. So,
Yep.
you know, that's what
But
we're
it's
gonna say.
hilarious that it's happened to Drew 2 times in a row. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a record. So they brought in this other lady to be her friend, and it's episode 2, and she's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Nope, she sucks. So she's like, girl, sit down. Listen, I'll be honest. In that moment, I was like, Drew, why are we working with him? I mean, out of all the people in Atlanta, the hot dog guy, you could have at least called my husband. He just made Brussels sprouts for 900 people. Why? Nobody knows. Nobody
She
knows.
goes, listen, Angela, I have been signed to so many legends. You know, there was my record deal with Joe Isuzu. There was the time I signed with a Chia Pet. Also, you know, the Little Caesars cartoon guy, we had a great working relationship, but we just never produced any good music.
I actually had a very sexy song produced by the people who created the Hawaiian roll. So that was big.
I did some work with Mary J. Blige, who is not related to Mary J. Blige, but I thought she was. So understandably, that was confusing. Turns out she was just a lady who worked at Jamba Juice.
And then Dennis came to the table with an offer. He was holding a hot dog because it was an after party filled with hot dogs. And I thought, you know what? This is perfect. And Portia should just tell me how she feels instead of aggressively attacking me and accusing me of things. Dennis has been an advocate for me and for Ralph as well. So we know that he only stands behind good people. Am I right, girls? Am I right?
Angela's like, is this the longest you've been separated? Well, I mean, we've never really been separated. We've always been on the same floor. So it is a little weird, but we've had arguments. But once he moved out of the bedroom, our divorce became like a war. And it's just like, this is why I don't like to come out and just talk publicly about my relationship, because I go into the studio and I pour it into my art, I pour it into my songs. And when I get out there and I sing pizza, pizza, it comes from the heart.
So then we find out from Drew, and this really does suck. Oh my gosh. She's like, well, Ralph has taken large sums of money, and he's also asking for alimony, percentages of my business, child support. What the fuck, Ralph? I thought you were some
Ralph is
super, super successful businessman who didn't need anything from anybody because you were so rich and you're writing self-help books to teach other men how to be rich. Right. Fucking poser, Ralph. Like, that's a shock to anybody who's seen you for 5 minutes, but still, get some self-respect.
Yeah, Drew is ridiculous, but Ralph is worse. And of course he's doing all this. Of course he is.
Yeah.
So then
Drew's
Shamia's
ridiculous, but she's harmless. And Ralph is harm.
Yes.
Ralph is harmful.
He is.
Yeah.
It's called Wreck-It Ralph, not like Be Chill Ralph. So Shamia comes in and she's like, I'm ready for a drop it with Drew, which was also the first time anyone's ever said that. And she says, I don't want to beef with Drew because, this is all between Drew and Portia, and Dennis is not a part of this group. So we just have to put this to rest. So they all start working out and everything. They did their workout scene and then they're left alone. And Drew is like, you know what? So guys, this workout's good because I'm like trying to get ready for like the stage. Cause like, I'm pretty sure Tamar's going to call me back. I don't know. Don't mean to drop any names, but it could happen. And I just really want to be like in the best shape of my life.
Which is why I'm dating a man who only feeds me hot dogs. This is going to work out great. So she's like, so are you doing an EP? You doing an album? Like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, gosh, we have close to 30 records done. It's crazy. You should hear my voicemails because he just sends me ideas and I send him voicemail ideas. I mean, we're basically the Beatles.
Oh, wait, here's a new one that I've been working on. I wrote this one myself. It goes like this. Da, 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 da. I'm loving it.
So then Angela's like, so Shamia, your party, you just blurted out, like, are you fucking? I mean, you fucking Dennis? Why'd you have to do that at the party? And she's like, it came from rumors. And she's like, well, I'm shocked that you had to do that for Portia because, basically you're Portia's secretary. Is that what you're doing? You're just Portia's secretary now. So that's great. You're Portia's assistant. And Shamia's like, wow, why are you coming in so hot? She goes, so did you ask so I remembered this as her going against Drew, but she's going against Shamia.
No, she went against Shamia. Well,
yeah, so I'm sorry. I take all that back.
She challenged Drew a little bit by saying, why of everyone in Atlanta, where there's so many music producers, I mean, people who are willing to work with Kim Zolciak, why of all the people do you choose the hot dog guy who is, had a baby with Portia? It is a valid question. But what she really does, though, is she's being, I still think the theory remains. She's going after Shamia right now. But I still think that she's going to fight with Shamia and Portia, and then she's really just to earn bona fides with, Drew. And then she will switch over to Portia and Shamia, and she will earn credit with them because she'll say, all this time, I thought I was doing the right thing as a good friend, but it turns out I was being used by Drew. And then that will earn her all sorts of good grace because she's talking shit about Drew, and she'll be brought into the fold. That's my theory.
Yeah. So she's like, well, you were just asking that question for Portia. And she goes, no, I asked for myself, and if you were listening, and Shamia's telling us, oh, wow, who knew that this girl could even speak? Because at my birthday party, when Portia was handed it to Drew, she was just a little church mouse. So Angela's like, you're not going to just bulldoze me. Charles Oakley, heard of him?
I bet you like white wine on the continent. So then Shamia is like, she basically turns to Drew and is like, can you explain your friend, please? And Drew's like, look, I don't want to beat a dead horse at this point, okay? But I wanted us to come and have fun together here. And Shamia's like, well, yeah, guess what? I had my endorphins. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. Bye.
Yeah. So then Drew's like, you know what? If they put up a graphic, if you look up lapdog in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Shamia. It's like, oh my God, this is like your 4th season and that's the best you got. Do you have no gays there? Get a gay, girl.
It's been rough. Also, I want to say we're 2 episodes in and they still have not fixed the green screen work on this show. Like, could you at least add a drop shadow underneath those chairs? They're like floating. They're floating and not they're like the wrong size. Everyone is like shorter than the coffee tables in the background. And there's not even a drop shadow. Just come on. This is like easy stuff.
Yeah, well, they're not going to fix it this season. I think they think it looks good so far. So then Portia, we go to Portia, and it says Portia's ex-fiance, Drew's business partner, Dennis, because they're at a kid's place, and Dennis is there to shoot. So Portia's like, well, we're great parents to Pilar, but, there's such a loss from the divorce, and, now there's closeness from both of us, and that's just what Pilar needs. So she's doing all the rides and slides and stuff, and Dennis comes in, and she's like, so what about Drew? And he's like, we're just doing business together. Have you ever heard a hot dog sing? Me neither, but you will soon.
She's like,
well, you say business, but Drew, in front of our crew, said something completely different in all of this.
and he's like, well, what is she saying?
Well, she said that you were her Jesus, her Lord Jesus Christ and Savior.
And then we go flashback to Drew saying, Dennis has been my angel on earth. You know what? There I was crawling through the desert and I looked up at the sky and down came so many hot dogs all of us could eat for 40 days and 40 nights.
You're learning. Look at you. I'm going to convert you yet.
That was from the Jewish part of the Bible. I am aware of the.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, no, I have not learned anything, Rodney.
I was thinking of the multiplying the hot dogs. That was in the New Testament when Jesus was like, you got 1 hot dog? How would you like 90? And people are like, hot dogs for life. Yes.
Did you hear that Jesus walked on hot dogs?
So Dennis is like, listen, Drew's going through a divorce with my homeboy, and you know how it is. And she's like, what does that have to do with me? And he's like, listen, you had 16 marriages on TV and I had to see all of that. And I was in pain. All right. And we share some similar things we can create music on, like being screwed over on national television. And I told Drew that she should have a conversation with you about Go Naked, but I didn't feel like I even had to do that. And this is my business. Why do I have to get permission from you?
This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so yes, okay, he's entitled to feel pain and feel frustration in watching, his beloved Portia go off and marry someone else, and he can feel lots of emotions, but that doesn't qualify you to suddenly be a music producer for anyone. It's like we all feel things and have emotion. I don't say, oh, you know what? I should probably be a music producer now. I'm kind of bummed today.
And
I'm gonna make a pitch.
Point. It's like you're making your way back onto my own television show by fucking somebody, or by at least flirting with the idea of having a relationship with somebody else on the show. You slimy fuck. That's what she's saying. And he's like, well, what? I can't make an album? Huh? So she's like, okay, so I'm concerned,
I'm concerned with her as a person who's supposed to be my friend who will try to bring my child's father and film with him in my territory.
And he's like, well, listen, if she's going to use the platform for promotion and I'm working on the thing that she's promoting, it's only natural that I'm here.
Now you're pissing me off. Okay, this is too much.
And he's like, well, I don't want to piss you off.
You want to film with her in this?
He's like, no. Why? He's like, it's very important. Why? So then Pilar comes over. They have to be nice. And she basically says again, she's like, I don't care about Dennis. Like, I have no expectation. It's like the one thing that she wants is don't film with Drew on the show. Like, you are my storyline. You don't get to be her storyline.
Yeah. So then they drive off together, but they still have their mics on. And she's like, okay, well, when you show up,
she's like crying. By the way, first she goes in the bathroom and cries and tells the producer, and she's like saying, this is where she explains that if I fall out with Dennis, which is very likely, he can use my own platform against me, and I'm not going to do that.
Right. So then they drive off and they've got their mics on, and she's like, listen, when you show up anywhere on these cameras with somebody else, it's going to be a problem. Another damn housewife, that looks absolutely insane. And he's like, we're on the hot mic, right? And she goes, oh yeah, you're a pro now, right?
He's like, no, I just was saying, like, we could kind of get free studio time right now because we don't have to pay for this recording. She's like, okay.
You want to try one of my new singles? I've just written 30. So
she's like,
every promotion is not good promotion. And at the end of the day, you get nothing for nothing. So guess what?
He's like, wait, can you do that one again? Then we have a hot mic. I just want to, okay, can we record this back in the studio?
Listen, we heard about you with family. You represent us. This represents family.
So he's like, well, the album was supposed to come out a month ago and she's supposed to do some promo for it on the show.
And she goes, okay, you know what? Do what you do. And it's going to work out how it happens. And he goes, what? And she's like, mark how this looks for your daughter, okay?
I don't even know why I stopped right there. You know what?
Because she's just stopped in the road. She just stopped in the road to bitch him out. And then she's like,
why am I stopped?
And she goes, God,
you got me doing stupid shit. I can't count on anybody.
And he's like, come on, P. And she's like,
shut up.
So that's the end. He's not going to listen. He's just going to keep doing this show. But you know what? You married a camera hungry dude,
hot dog. That's a hot dog whore. He's a hot dog whore. Well, that was the episode. What a fun time. Thanks everyone for being here. We'll be back. We've got a lot going on this week, so stay tuned to our feed. We got Crappy Hour coming up in about an hour by the time this comes up. But the point is this: thanks for being here. Go check out our shows, ticket links for our shows this weekend in Charlotte and Atlanta, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's the Foster and the Furious. It's Amanda Foster. It's always automatic with Ashley Auto.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Put your hands together for Carly Clapp. Catherine DiBernardo has our Hardo.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offutt. Dana C. Dana Do. She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Etchels.
We never miss her call. It's Diane Call.
Erin McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey. You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones. I go, you go, we all go for Hugo.
Hava Nagila Weber.
We could all learn from Jennifer Kearns.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Knock, knock, knocking on Katie Mannock's door. She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B.
Rigging the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets an A from us. It's Lindsay D. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry.
We love her on the rocks. It's Melissa Cox. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
She sure is swell. It's Raquel.
Yes, we canna, it's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman. Let's share with Sharon Eldridge. The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
She's VVIP, it's Amanda V. Can't lose when you're with Amy Baldwin.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD. She's got a leg up. It's Beth Ani.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Who, what, why, where, and Gwen Pentland.
It's our queen, it's Queen Laifah.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
We got our wish, it's Jen Plish. She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
She gets an A, it's Kelly B.
We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley. We're ride or die for Lisa Ryder Barron. She's a whiz, it's Liz Sarthy. Always killing it, it's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
She eases our woes, it's Melissa St. Rose.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.